Big up to now. Good morning, early morning session. Thank God it's Friday, TGIF. Well, anyway, every day with the thank God for. Every day. Unfortunately, before I start this news, I lose my dog yesterday. I don't see I get two. The one in Tiffam. Not news. If it's make the news. You know? Or sometimes so I can beat them. You know, scatter me dirty, but the feeding are constant. A priority. You know, them body healthy, fluffy. You know, but the cold. Every time we're in season come, I make get them too. So at least they're able to cuddle together. But you know, when thief the one, now the rain don't begin to drop. You know, they get cold outside. The one no be able to take them. And not to the first tennis, you know. Every young dog what gets during season time, they must go. Anyway, if it's make the news, good morning to now with the drain Tasmo, to all the animal lovers there. And I tell myself, see, this could be my last dog at the race. Don't build a nice shag, nice horse for him. You know, it got a few times, you know, they don't, you know, which myself appreciate because they work totally for nothing. You know, big up to that. Anyway, good morning, Salone. Good morning, Guinea, Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Ivory Coast, the rest, that's all. You know, the whole mano. You know, Europe, we want to say good morning, Tuna. America, we're not going to stop for talk about Tuna. Good morning, Tuna. You know, if Tasmo again empowered small so today now because of Una, but not super bad. Give me a give you, una back give me una. Small. I saw the world go. Anyway, we're getting important issues there. But we're not going to say issues, we're going to say discussions there. Discussions there for can tackle. With introduction going to be about free trade. Why make free trade not important for Africa? Why make the participation of free trade not necessary for Africa? Why make Africa need for relinquish themselves away from free trade and start for produce? Then we're going to discuss about BRICS. Most of you back watch what's in the take place the past few days. You know, BRICS. If you don't know what's not BRICS, we're going to make you understand we don't really talk about NATO. You know, I want to fill the gap step. So what I take a chill pill. We come back in the next 1 week or 2 weeks because we don't hit, you know, the iron, they discuss about the wall. We go for at least take a chill pill. We pause. You know, we allow news for make itself again. Or maybe what you would only predict or what you would hope not to. You know, let's see if it happen or not. You know, etc. You know, we don't need for bits. So then we'll go talk small about G20, the G7. You know, etc. And China also, they launch what in China create, you know, recently. You know, some type of a sun wouldn't create. But artificial sun, we will discuss that as well. An artificial sun. You know, powerful things still. Now we start the fire properly, early morning session. Get your coffee and brace up, you know. I will start the week with end fully with power. You know, something we will make a late this morning. Don't prepare me messages since even 10 yesterday. Wake up again, middle net. They try for, you know, add some more few things there. I don't know why I make, you know, but anyway, we're on. Free trade. Why make Africa for avoid free trade? Now, if you study economics, you need for listen to this. If you try for going to the business world, banking, you need for listen to this. Some of una maybe where they in charge of with treasury department step. You know, where they control with finance system. Una also for what they listen to this. Very bad for Africa, free trade. Now be a gimmick. a gimmick from the start, a gimmick where still continue for lure the Africans the inside trap. What's in a free trade? Free trade, now where you get the ability for sell goods there. Any side, who say you want seller? Well, it be necessary for the Africans them. But I know saying now we start the process of trading. We discussed that, a few days ago. Because trading before not so by currency, but by what you get to equivalent. Say, gold become a priority. We discussed that. Now we come to trading. The white man system creates a new system. And therefore make sure say then capitalize and profits by this system. And make them create what they call free trading. And it become mandatory for every country per se, we value the principalities of democracy for participate. If you want the support of NATO or democracy, you also involve, you participate. Especially third world countries them. Because now the main side, who side the exploitation they take place. Who side poor, now the money there, now they will go make money, now they will exploit them. Now let make you understand and proper, tiggy one. So free trading first to enable every country for join and participate. This they exclude you. As long as not for trade, you for join. They want you for trade. Now, if Salon be they produce sugar, in those days, we don't need the American still. And we system be rich. We get the richest people in the world. The richest man, I don't tell you, the blackest, the black man, one of the richest man that the world would ever live. Something Musa, I don't discuss this. All this, they try to tell you, we system we come to trade, it be rich. People then be rich in Africa. Now, if me get sugar, or we get sugar in Salo, what would they produce? We get sugar in Salo, what they produce. Now they say now by force for enter this free trade. One of the Europeans or the Americans then creator. Now when we don't enter this free trade, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? All the young sugar what they don't create with so many different companies there. Let me say if they get 20 companies inside Europe, 20 companies inside America, we them back to make sugar. Then we'll get we on salon pots now where they make sugar, what we don't use for buy too, what the currency they go around, with money they develop, because in they make profits and also they help society, help government, etc., etc. Well, all the other products in there, just because we don't sign an agreement for the part of free trade, then 20 other companies in there, plus the other 20 companies them, all go come inside salon for can compete with the sugar we they sell in our salon. A foreign sugar go come for can compete with the local sugar. And if you not take time, this foreign sugar go surpass the local sugar. People then go stop for buy the local sugar and begin to buy the foreign sugar. What has take place? What do you think so now they begin to capitalize? If now be the Africans and be used for capitalize, now we don't stop we self. We used for buy from we own source. Now we need to buy again. Just because of this agreement, they buy now what they come out from the foreign countries them. This don't affect with GDP totally, yearly. It don't affect your revenue streams. Well, I don't think they don't start to do. Since ancient, well, I'm not going to say too much of ancient, but since democracy. Since democracy. All kind of foreign goods sent in Africa. But they see we own goods them, now they own shelves them, or their own countries them, inside their own stores them. But rampart of all kind of goods them in Africa. So now that they can capitalize. We say pull back again, we want we own, we like we own. If we not be they buy from them people there or them foreign goods them, maybe we countries then go stable a little. Because all what you maybe would they eat, now we the gram, now we the producer. This don't make the African man lazy for produce. don't become dependable. Tango can even for grow Casada self the African man go see no. If we not grow, what's going to happen? The white man go kaya, he lease the land, he chachawi for work farm, we grow from the Casada, he export and go overseas, go make the final product. Can't pimp we back. The same way they be the pimp we in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Any outside money there, the white man they go there. Try na tobacco plants them, they can invest pan Africa, including saloon. Every African country, beaucoup white man be there for invest in tobacco. Because tobacco they make heavy money. Then they for invest for capitalize and cargo. Now another funny thing is, the same thing what they make, what then they make, the only difference at times when they go package up. When they package and they put value or add value per they can sell you with the same thing. So the thing what they produce, where they come out from we own soil, what then they take care go, and the same thing back they can sell you and make money per. Almost all thing, all type of resources. So now you make free trade is very bad for Africa. What Africa need for beginning to produce and exports, let we own goods and go to their own market. But they're not going to allow this for let we goods and go to their own market because they think say it's not good enough. The perception. Who side they don't demoralize we, who side they don't put we or classify we as Africans. And with the Africans now, when they grumble, when they say nothing, we just go with the flow a big fool. How long? How long? Some of them think say free trade is good. So now I make some of them sanctions there to some people them, it affects them. Because when you depend on free trade, they will not stop for produce. Then think and you not sanctions them. Then you will get nothing again at your ports or things the way you people then go buy and survive. Now the country don't suffer so. The country now it don't suffer so. And then struggle say with the talk of sanctions them. If America able to put sanctions them per countries them, now because we become dependable, we can to producing. Become totally dependable. If we not be dependent on them, or we not affiliate or join this free trade shenanigan, then they will affect we at all at large. And also we revenue streams them could improve. Because now we get locals saying we're going to challenge themselves for make. If we're able to do trade stuff with the Europeans or the Americans, we're going to do trading within Africa. We're big enough, the population is high enough, but we don't need any other country per se for buy from we. We can able to sell to ourselves and make profits and still survive. But the Africans step, I don't know what's in the going. I don't know what they're going to take today. Then if you left for Nakriba, with loan step. What then give you a loan? What the World Bank or IMF give you a loan? Maybe each dollar, now 1,000% rate. Maybe, but closer to that. Each dollar will be a 1,000% rate. So if they give you millions or billions of dollars on a loan, with 10 kind of percentage in the rates them, of interest way high, how we will recover. All this now the system will then create for tangle, tie, reduce, and control Africa. We busy, they chase money, then busy, they chase power. That repeats this once more. With the Africans, then we busy, they chase money, then busy, they chase power. For they in control. For they in control. As long as you in control, now you go to dictate what's in for do. As long as now you they invest, now you go tell them what's in for do. So now I make lately what's in happen so inside Uganda. What the students and they said no one to get or government say no one to get on funds there. Because any outside the American man go invest if for controlling, not so free. I don't forget to get that. Now let me continue. BRICS. BRICS. Some of you now don't hear this. Maybe not to, get enough details then for understand the process of BRICS or what's in there about. What's in there about? Well, again, we get force system where they compete with NATO. We get force system where they compete with democracy. We get force system where they compete with 10 G7 countries there. For let you know, say, no one include the African sample, anything way better we can to development. Before I begin to talk about NATO, let's start first with the G7. G7 countries them, like you know the list them first. Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom, and the United States. This G7 country, they form themselves together like a major alliance for development. Now like Osusu, where you get countries then together, we only put, you know, maybe after 2 years, we'll go make this one country, we'll invest in this one country for develop. The next year, we'll invest in this other country for develop. The next year, we'll invest in this other country for develop. Now like Osusu, and also just for develop, for security reasons there as well. Now a major partnership. Well, they're not going to ever reverse, but continue for sustain. Then countries there we can say, now the world leaders them. We'll get some of them where they lead the world, and some of them where they're close. But as long as you're part of this group, you don't become a world leader. So this G7 country is just like what in the life of the Africans they say, we want to encourage all development countries then for join NATO, not lie. We want all development countries then for being part of democracy, and not important. If then development countries they are such as Africa or countries that where they fight for develop, we're still poor. We need the help for develop. If they're not including inside the G7, you're not important. Democracy not an important group. Now a policy for make sure so they control you or tame you. But the groups then who are interested, what countries then go benefit, and then G7 groups there. Now we get G7. All of a sudden again we get another one at G20. You know, G20. All people then realize say they don't create a G7. Other countries then look in and say, well, that one there, they perform alliance. For help themselves for develop. We back, now we create another alliance for help yourself. So someone in G20 countries they are also, there some G7 countries and they part. You fear or you not fear. It makes sense or it don't make sense. Now like you again the G20 countries there. Some of it. We get Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Korea, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Russia, Turkey, US, United Kingdom, etc., etc. You know, we got about 19 or more countries or 20 or so inside this G20 group. And then countries they are all again a focus on development. Then countries they are must develop. What do you mean develop? You roads them, you infrastructures them, the design of your city or your areas them. You know, water facility, medical, education, etc., etc. Now, like, you know, if yonder among them group they are, they never consider you again a third world country. Because they improve on a lifestyle. You back down there inside the cabal. So, the G7 countries them, no African country, no did it. I want to make Leona get this and understand them. If I begin to make points as them. G7, no African country, no did it. The G20 countries there, only South Africa, na in did it. And what also this mean? Then G7, G20, you know, groups there. And then they control also what they talk of. The IMF and the World Bank, especially the G7 group. IMF and the World Bank. If the World Bank want give loan to any development country, now what G7 accept? If Africa need help, now what G7 accept? If G7 no accept, IMF no go give that loan day, the World Bank no go give that loan day. Because and then countries they are, and they in charge of them banks there. What they talk of banks now, they talk of money, Osusu. Now they care for themselves, but they not care for the Africans. Them. They want the Africans for involved in free trade, in democracy, but the Africans do not belong or do not fit for belong by the G7 or G20 group step. Then they say they want to develop Africa. They can't lie, but we say they want to develop Africa. Now, look where they continue. This BRICS then starts the formation 20 years ago. Now don't they come to reality. Because BRICS them back then see the threats from then groups they are. G7 and G20. What's now the countries that were made of BRICS? Let me touch that now. We get Brazil. We get Russia. We get India. We get South Africa. These are the countries that were made of BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, pardon me, and China. And China. Pardon me, excuse me. A major representation. China. Let me repeat again this once more before we continue now. The countries that made of BRICS: China, Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa. Why make them countries that come together for form this coalition? Because them countries that I don't realize say, even though South Africa, they're part of the G20 group, India and also they're part of this G20 group, Brazil also they're part of this G20 group, Russia also they're part of this G20 group, but they never receive the benefits there, maybe or the respect what they deserve from this G20 group. Because also, don't forget say, United States, United Kingdom, then did it. Then when they lead the G7, then also they by this G20. So they will always fight the enemies them we want to enter this G20. But they exclude the Africans. I make sure know this. Then they encourage the Africans then for joining G20 or G7. And they say, we're not fit for go G7. They didn't even think of. They think of self. Now, lower they continue. So, them countries that are made out of BRICS, they say, they want there for sit on them how they watch them. We sit on them how they observe them. They will create their alliances there. Create them banks there. And dominate we entirely. The world order will always be controlled by them. If even we want to develop a country, we will not get enough GDP per year, then we need help. They want partner with them for me to help we. Then still they shun we. What's now for do? So some of them countries are say, well, let we form we own team. You know? How about create we own susu? We create we own bank. We create we own system. You know what we're able to help ourselves. The same thing what they do for developing young countries them. How about create we own susu for help ourselves for developing countries there. How about form we alliance? We're going to make sure say with total GDP will compete to them. What they can feel like say now then are the greatest, you know, G7 or G20, you know, groups them. You know, because the more finance, the more money, the more powerful you are. Now, I'm going to make you now understand, trust me. So, Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, China, they came together to form this BRICS. You know, in 2006, you know, things then they begin flow. Things then begin flowing. And this time become now a rival to NATO and the EU, or the Western dominated banks. Because it's all about the banks or the United States, NATO or EU. For compete with the attributes there. You know? For compete with the EU, with NATO, or the Western dominated banks there. The need for, you know, and this is relating to global financial pressure. Related to global financial pressure. You know, because when you compare goods or the price, now NATO or the US can control the price of goods. Again, we can blame ourselves for experiencing inflation, but whether they can create inflation more globally, now the United States, because then they control prices still. So anytime they want to increase price by any goods, we're not able to control them. We start out with free trade. So now, since them countries that they form BRICS, again, banks them, that they rival with the Western dominated banks. If una they make products, now we no more they buy una products. Today una products na $1. Tomorrow it go be $2. The other day it go be $3. Now una they capitalize and them money there they go na una banks them. And then banks there una only they help una self for develop una own countries them. Una need they affiliate to other countries them, una they use and abuse or capitalize for. I hope so that they get the message. So BRICS look pin and say no. Work we form we own. This financial pressure is too much. Once loan, no, they need to give me loan. Once for me they cut down the price, so they need to listen to it. And then they increase price, and then they do all thing. You know? And this is not fair to we all globally. Because we all forget the same rights. Now let me continue. So BRICS now, then they in the purpose for incorporate new member step. We sign out the threat step happen. Now we can show now also figure step. Then they in the process for incorporate new member step. What I mean by that? They don't open the doors for members them we want join. Countries them we not develop it, we want join BRICS. Since G7 not open up that idea there for let developing countries and go join, like Africa so, the G20s not open their platforms there for let Africans to go join. Where BRICS don't open their own platform. They say they want countries there for join. Well, so far, why make BRICS a fearful? They compete greatly with NATO because when you calculate the total worth of money now we then get in their own bank, combined, then countries that are Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, about 23.5 trillion GDP. Where you combine them countries there, the money what they don't get out, what them back don't sit on par, where they turn into Alagba, you know, about $23.5 trillion. Now, G7 countries then gets a total combined to about $34 trillion. $34 trillion. You know, the BRICS not a foul. Una G7, una worth about $34 trillion GDP. Now BRICS send about $23.5 trillion GDP. None of that be no. But when you combine the total population of them countries they are, BRICS gets more population than NATO. 3.2 billion of people. That then are 40% of the world total population, or maybe more. So when they talk of the population, BRICS gets more. Then when they talk of potential system again for business and for make money, BRICS gets the potential for make money past NATO, because when they deal with India, China, South Africa again, Brazil, etc., etc. Countries that were populated. Now, the biggest, you know, we want to say offset, even Saudi Arabia want to join BRICS. Saudi Arabia gets oil. Well, they apply for join BRICS. They're not just talking, they apply. They want, because they don't want the parts of NATO. They say, don't try our NATO, they bully all man. They want the parts of BRICS. You know, other countries and they back, we want the parts of BRICS. About maybe 10 to 19 countries as well, or 20, or maybe more. We want to join BRICS. But countries indeed. We want to join BRICS. Because them countries they are don't tire with NATO. The bullying is too pass smack. All things are under the control and under the channel. Now what thing fit to now what they do? Now the world or people in your eyes are not become wider and open. You know, and don't they tire. So the population of BRICS a major, the GDP they are almost equivalent to NATO they own. You know, and you know, BRICS them are 4 times bigger than G7. They're 4 times bigger than G7. You know, gets more populations there, gets more clientele them, get more partners them, maybe more alliances them. You know, so our alliances them, we're gonna make sure say the GDP it change, and very soon the GDP go past NATO. If Saudi Arabia and other countries there were significant at the world market join BRICS. Now BRICS back then created a new development bank in 2014. Then back don't create their own bank for provide funds them for infrastructural projects them for all them countries there. So this bank now what them back don't create. You know, now for provide funds them for infrastructural projects them, and them countries they always belong inside BRICS. So if Salon can lock you one day for join BRICS, BRICS go develop Salon quickly. BRICS go develop Salon because we back don't join the Osusu. Well, they're part of the Osusu. If they don't go before, they're not for left Salon behind. You know? Now, let me continue. And this again a rival to the IMF and World Bank. Many stop for control the global economy. You know, a major competition. And needed. NATO also want to expand. But nobody know they go. Nobody know want to join again. Nobody know want to join again. Nobody know want to again. You know, people that don't see what's happening with the G7, with the G20. None they see the benefits of democracy or even NATO. You know, except when it comes to war, that make Ukraine get more support. But part of that, they don't see the benefits. So people they need for withdraw. Well, South Africa, the only African country were involved in BRICS. I mean, in the G20 group, eventually gets for pullouts from G20, or maybe go stay, but not go look at or consider that important anymore, but go focus mostly on BRICS. South Africa, you know. Now, let me continue. The only grouping, you can see the African step. The only grouping, you can see the African step. Now we can't play football or soccer. You can really say the African team, then they play Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, Group G, Group F, and then Group in the normal, and then Group A. And the only group that you go here is the Africans they belong to. But you can't play any development structures there, then they consider the Africans them, for any groups. You know? So when we go develop, because we're not able to create this Osusu as a whole, what then they create. And so far, if Russia, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, India, you know, they look up to China for lead BRICS, this automatically don't make China the world leading power. Because they all look up to China. They all look up to China. Now we continue. Then we get a G Summit meeting recently, May 19th to the 21st, this 2023 so, you know, recently, inside Hiroshima, You know, Japan. The same place who said the American man go bombard, where they use the world's most fearful bomb, atomic bomb, where they go bombard Japan. When at the same Japan they go for go, you know, do the meeting, the G7 meeting. You know, all them top countries them, the G7 groups them, they go meet inside Japan, you know, for whatsoever reason, based on the challenges them within the face or experience, you know, also relating to peace and prosperity. But whether they abuse the Japanese them years ago, now they make like say the most important events there, and to Japan we don't go talk up. It's just like somebody can bombard Wina Makinia. After 10-20 years, they'll continue for Belembu. So any important meeting, they go say, "Hello, go do na bombali." You know, like say they care about Twi, but they don't care about Twi. Formality, you know. But now inside Japan, they get this meeting. You know, on the 19th to the 21st. Now South Africa don't give Putin immunity for coming inside South Africa. Also immunity, the liberty for travel, for move. Because NATO, they don't put a warrant on Putin. They say Putin not for travel, not for move, not for do nothing. If for be captured. Well, South Africa, they don't give Putin immunity for travel inside South Africa. And they say if Putin travel inside South Africa, it's protected by the South Africans. That means if NATO test low, now war. If NATO test low, now war. Not so just with the South Africans there, but with all the countries that were involved by BRICS. So NATO for back away from Putin. Because Putin now is part of BRICS. Now they continue. And this is necessary. It's necessary. And the countries that now also we want to join BRICS, starting with Iran. When I know say Iran gets oil. Argentina, them back, they do well. I don't know whose minerals they get, whose good stem, but you know, I believe them back they export something, you know, major. The United Emirates, well, I know say they get money. Mexico, Bangladesh, even Nigeria want join BRICS. Nigeria is a major player on this West African coast, or to the world itself, globally. Because major oil they come out inside Nigeria. Now major players still. You know, Nigeria also want to join BRICS. Turkey want to join BRICS. Zimbabwe want to join BRICS. Pakistan want to join BRICS. Sudan want to join BRICS. Syria want to join BRICS. Etc. etc. So major countries them where they do very well want to join BRICS. If all the countries that can't join BRICS, BRICS allow them. NATO don't dismantle. The European Union don't dismantle. The way they can go and cack and then at the superpower, well, it will be not lie, it will be backwards. It will be backwards. Then talk, then it will begin to become limited. So it's very important for the BRICS, you know, come to reality or come to life. And what's that mean, come to life? Let's say some of them countries they are joined. If they're joined, well, the end of NATO, the end of NATO, the end of the corruption, the end of the bullying, the end of bullies them, the end of bullies them. You know? Maybe then we'll begin to see countries to develop. You know? At least small fairness could it. But that's what we hope for. Now, let me continue. China again. You know, for take time and fear China, not super bad, but China, they develop the technology abilities them for create, or the technological abilities them, or technical abilities them for create a massive. So like say, then every day when they sleep, then grab and wake, the witch just the add part them. When they can say Africa man a witch, now like witch now deeper. When we own witch, you're not going to say it. Now backwards witch now deeper. Backwardsness. Now play witch now deeper. The Chinese money and then they pay the real witch for create. You know? For create. Now they launch a artificial sun or sun. And it's there. Day for yesterday or yesterday. an artificial sun. Like you can see the sun too. Then and duplicates the sun and creates something similar to the sun. And the thing is stay visible for about 1,000 seconds to about 1,001 seconds. 1,001 seconds. 1,000 equivalents to 1 minute. 1,000 seconds equivalents to 1 minute. So 1 minute some change. Now you'll be able to see this sun here for, become visible. And this sun here, now listen, they say it gets a clean and a safer solution for humanity. They say it gets a clean and a safer solution for humanity. And this don't prove the technical power. Now, let me continue. The temperature of this artificial sun, they say even hotter than the sun. 5 times hotter than the sun itself. What's in there creates so? Now technology, Now technology. Then call on the nuclear fusion. It will become a reality one day. Why make this tier promising? Why make it promising? Well, they say the traditional energy. Now listen to this. So, the traditional energy, whether or not the sun, because me no sin at the sun no more than the traditional energy. But the traditional energy can produce what's called radioactive waste. And it gets safety concerns. This with traditional energy. So, what's in that don't create this artificial sun with a nuclear fusion, they say it gets a clean energy without long-lasting radioactive products. And this go good for humanity or mankind. Technology. They don't advance past the white man itself. The white man unafraid. The white man unafraid. The way other man they create, they which pass which. The white man be thinking that they know all thing. Well, it's Alex say, what's in the white man be know, that be just the beginning. What the world begin to improve, technology begin to improve, the white man begin to make Calbantel like say, now they don't know all thing, beyond a lie. Beyond not just the genesis of technology, the beginning of technology, the birth of technology. The moment where some people they understand technology, they will begin to create space to white man we start for creator. Now that step happens too. The Chinese man don't grow the white man, don't overgrow the white man. And this is fearful, Now, we will discuss on a different topic where in Canton Law. I don't want to touch that area there. I don't want to tangle me message them. But we will discuss and face kind Mr. Gentle in business small inside. Good morning to our salon. Good morning again to our neighboring countries there. To we politicians there. I watched an interview yesterday where they interviewed Mr. Gentle. 98.1. Mrs. Asma begets Mr. Gentle live yesterday. Why make all the face kind of up? Gentle after today, and they dismiss you case, the topic. Why say they dismiss you? Believe what I tell you, so pass no more now. Then go sit down for your other side, but you're not going to win again this election. After this, what else will say it don't do with you? You're not going to win again this election. So after today's topic, Gentle, I don't know with you finally. Maybe pass on that thing come out. But other things that we cannot go important again, and for just talk no more. But after today, I don't know with you finally. Go think like Jagaban. Go think first, yeah? Like Jagaban. Gentle, every day with Mrs. Asma yesterday, 98.1, every day interviewer. And what me obtain from this interview, the questions that they ask her, to me, it conflicts himself. Before this interview, Mr. Gentle make him clear that now would I understand the problems them of Freetown, now ain't going to fix the problems them. Would I understand the problems them of Freetown? I ain't going able to fix the problems them. Now they asked him yesterday, Mr. Gentle, what's in the problems them of Freetown? When it fixing? Mr. Gentle continue for saying that Mrs. Akisoya. Freetown gets no problem no more. Gentle focus continue for points finger per Akisoya. They continue for tell us, say, Gentle, not to Akisoya and talk 1 year. We want to know the problems then where you can't face, or where you can't change, where you can't fix. What's in the problems them of Freetown? Gentle still a talk saying that Akisoya not the problem of Freetown. Because Akisoya not be the pull with indeputity. Gentle still not answer, we question it. Now this blame game, now in the if you not a true politician, we don't tire of them blame games there. Now they say, come market yourself. Come market your concept. Come market your idea. What you go do? Today you fashion Akisoya. You not come for change Freetown, Gentle. You come back for just play the blame game. Super smart. Now. They like super smart and you super smart. You know? Plan yourself, coordinate yourself properly. When they go into interviews them, make sure say you get a focus on what you go market. And what you go market always for be your ideas them. You know, where you go pass on to the society at large. Something will go be meaningful. Not another politician for attack. This don't make sense. Then it discuss again about sanitation step. Anyone puts dirty box there outside. Because the time when they come up, dirty box them be there outside. But then dirty box there, and they all be there add to we sanitary problems them. Because every corner where you pass dirty box stay, then they lead to mosquito step, etc., etc. Because the area not safe. It open. Now you want face kind of the same system for put dirty box them outside. Gentle, take time out. Take time out. The only sensible talk where you talk quietly, you know, the dirty box where they by Kisi area, for move and come out. For move and come out of that area there. Because dirty box not fit for the inside a city. We get cool landscapes there. We say na the jungle. We say people and they inhabit or people and they live. You know, government can able create roads there. We say if we go dump them dirty there further away or far away from the people them. But even everything with localities in the Yara McKinney, believe me, we say they can go dump the dirty enough far away from the residential area there. But all we get lands the way they waste. Whether for just drive them dirty there can go far away from Usamotaman in there. Today we're not able to create a clean environment for ourselves. Then they will can make some of them when they are mayors, then just no. The area with communities or with cities then still dirty. Still dirty. Still one creates dirty box there for put them around. Then when they can build a dirty box there, also back they go to now the main dirty, now still around the community. And they just can go dump them. And if you continue to dump dirty, when I know say Salon, a tropical, you know, zone or Africa, it rain, probably 6-7 months per year. Then dirty there, it's not easy for burn. It's not easy for burn. So now we need for fence areas them away from people, away from the communities them. So if we're not able to self burn on time, when dry season come, we're able to still light fire for them and get rid of the infections them. But Gentle, anyone can implement the same thing. No? Go put dirty box there outside. Things say go make sense. You know, the sense then too small. Then the market woman and now they complain. Now Freetown. The market woman and they complain. They say that they pay at least 12 to 13 million every day. Go city council, they tax them. 12 to 13 million, so they pay them every day. Go city council, they tax them. But no not get any cold room, do not get any toilet facility, etc., etc. But make sure say them back, the area outside in there is vibrant or viable enough for do them business. Cold room no dey, toilets no dey, but then they pay tax. Every day, city council they collect about 12 to 13 million leons. And if cold room not there, the fish then go spoil. If cold room not there, the chicken then go spoil. But they know say Solomon still foolish, working vex, so they complain about them G7 countries they are. This is not a business initiative. Solomon no go can invest, create a cold room. We go sit down back, we fall land, we fold foot, wait for them Lebanese people there, or Indian people there for create cold room, for let we business then thrive go before. The regular Solomon no go create cold room. We go still depend on other foreigners and for can create and for we. For let we business go before. So now for let you know say the smallest things themselves with the African system, we not able to do them for ourselves. See what make sense so for let we business go before. We not able to do them for ourselves. If NPA no give light, ETA no give light, we call rooms to all two way inside of the pool. Somebody no go take the liberty say, like create a solar system, or like get my own backup generator, for let my own business thrive, or for let the business thrive in our society. Solomon no go take the initiative there. Today we still depend on foreigners there, or we wait on ETA, or government. Even though about governments for help, we then things there. But we still wait. It's very sad for we. It's very sad for we. So we're going to conclude the news. So this morning, the early morning session, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. I want to add other things there. But I don't worry about me people then top up. Even though task will not to get. But this again are for enlightening with people now America. Forgive you more sense. Forgive you more sense. The more you get more sense, more power to you. I go eat and small, I eat and small. Universally, we get open laws them, we get closed laws them. Universally. Open laws them and closed laws them. Open laws then can be public laws. Closed laws then can be your own private entity or your own private section or your own private sea. And so me go and put on. Open laws, closed laws. Open laws, who say all man get right. Closed laws, who say you rights limited. Now, let me continue. In some countries there, authorities there don't know how to implement the law. They can always become biased in almost every country. And now we'll go specify the United States. Public laws then there, but the privilege enormous. Example, you hold a camera, they go and videotape now certain countries there. Inside America, you got the liberty for record any side who say you want to record. As long as not public. As long as not public. Anything when not public, if you don't want to myself they pass, I make many videotape you, you're not going to be able to stop that. Because certain countries in the day they get the liberty, we then give to the people there for videotape any side. When not public. And also when not public interest. Well, for example, let me say, if you did that in countries there, then the videotape you. Then you vex, you say you don't make many videotape you. Then you call the authorities them. Then the big full authorities them, we don't know the law. Then come, then go listen to you. Then just because based on your own personal feelings, disregarding the law, I feel this way, this person for videotape me. Some authorities them can want to take the law into hand. And the law enough for involved with feelings them. The law gets in your weight for carry. The law not by partial. The law gets in your weight for carry. which is the policies them with, contracted by the law for me them follow. So if a person gets your own personal views or your own personal opinion, they will get authorities that want to go enforce them personal views, their personal opinions them. It can wrong to majority at large. It can wrong to majority at large. What do you feel is personal? But the law itself is open to all for exercise their rights. But some authorities them, I'm going to make you understand this, what I explain this, so I can contextualize that. Some authorities them can take side quick. Example now inside saloon. Person called policeman them. They say this neighbor, they look me wrongly. The way they look me, I don't like her. The way nobody this neighbor, they look me, I don't like her. Or the way he suck teeth just no way pass, I don't like her. Now just because I get small finance, for maybe bribe the authority, when the authority they come, if they forget say publicly, that law they know they, when they stop me say, I not for look this person, they can't be where I for look at. That law they know they way for stop me. But with your authorities there, they will come back, or maybe go detain this person when they complain. Just because they don't bribe them. Maybe just because they don't bribe them. They will go harass this person when they complain, say, that man they talks to the looker wrongfully, or they videotape her wrongfully, or whatsoever. Then they will go arrest this person and take her into custody. Unlawful arrest. Unlawful arrest based on feeling step. Feeling step. Now this they affect, we lost them inside Africa as a whole. This also they happen at the diaspora. So for we policeman them and within the locality, stop for acts towards you feeling step. Just because you feel something or somebody feels something, you think say because you're not a police or you're not the law, well, I will take the law into hand or into course because of feeling step. Feelings do not go with the law. Now, excuse me. The law gets a mandate. It gets a own contract. And then contract say, now what's in the inside the law and with them policies they are for follow. But based on personal complaints or personal feelings, you the policeman, if you take time how you go about the law, not go make an unlawful arrest. And mostly with the Africans there, we can go and sell for nothing. Based on unlawful arrest. Because of feelings them. Because I feel certain way, well, I go take you into custody. Even though not to so the law say. Even though not to so the law directs you for do. But you still go make the arrest and detain somebody. Well, inside America now, not crime. Inside America now, not crime. Anything on a public interest, especially with government's workman, we get rights for videotape, even you the policeman or the soldier man, while you perform your job. Now public interest. If you see a civilian they videotape you, you don't get any rights for detainer. But inside Africa, if the policeman they pack corruption, then you hold phone or camera they videotape them. If not take time, they go beat you till they kill you with your phone. Because then they do something illegal, where you the videotape them based on public interest. Not take time, now they go beat you till they kill you. So all this again is unlawful. Anything on our public interest, the people then get the rights for practicing rights. Then they pay you as a public servant. One videotape you for make sure say you do your job correctly. The law supports we for do it. So for you the African now where you don't know the law, anytime you about videotape an officer they begin threatening you, you get your rights, but they don't say they're going to abuse your rights. And that's make they can take advantage by you. Because it's not public interest. So now we learn for the understand the law, especially the officers, they also they pass on the law. Statistics show that almost about 99.5% of the policemen when they give the liberty or the rights, for secure, people them at large inside the United States, they don't even know the Constitution. They don't even know the laws name within the Constitution. 99.5% of the policemen in the United States, not even know the Constitution or what's it entail in within the Constitution. But they make them policemen. They turn into policemen. You've asked about the First Amendment, so no sabi. You ask about the Second Amendment, so no sabi. But they're ready for detain and go lock you up. They not even sabi the law. All these people are never express inside the United States. And we also express Nasaloya. Words for the wise. Now, na boy again tells Muslims, the servants, aka Gbepeko, the early morning session, the early morning coffee, you know, the face of Salon, the face of the people there, and the face of the green, white, and blue. I hope say the iron a warm enough for pass on knowledge. And all what we discuss so this week here, in our scatter, I go and make you see that. We package them proper, but make sure say, una get a proper understanding of the world order system. World order. You know? And a different or a new formation of world order as well. I want to make sure say African pick up pace. We all know what. Don't forget about that with tribal nonsense there. About that with ethnic nonsense there. Then with barriers there. Then we try for develop Africa. Maybe one day we will get an African bank ready for sponsor the African countries there. I'm not going to say we Africans they need for automatically rush for join what we call BRICS. Because our BRICS become powerful till one day. And for the status them, the one day we starter. Brazil, India, Russia, China. Now then go benefit. We need for create we own alliance system. We need for create we own alliance system. We need for create we own also support. We're going to be only for the African system. The African man go come out Africa. He go on any side of the world. They're not going to allow him for become a Chinese man or an American or a Brazilian or whatsoever. But you go see the white man come out, boom, Europe, he come, he say in African. In African. But when we go to them, they need to accept we for become American. They go always second class we or third class we. But then one be part of African for share what you will get inside Africa. For thief, what you will get inside Africa. So then go back, go belong. And with the Africans, they will just accept them. Or that white man, other than African, now you born. We easy for accept them. But they're not easy for accept we. All this not trick. All this not trick for control the coast of Africa. So we back need for beginning to think of for create we own BRICS, or we own NATO, or we own IMF, or we own World Bank. If we not start for creation, say yeah, we go left behind for this battle. We go always be subjected, not to again to NATO, even to China. Me, I not too trust China. Let's be honest, so now. I not too trust China at all. I not trust them people there. Then back they exploit Africa as much as NATO they exploit we. At the same thing, no more. Then just get different concepts, and we not see it and not tip as market. Now you make. And at the same thing, no more. So we need for go to watch the countries they are, duplicate what's in them back deeper, and begin to apply for ourselves, for our own betterment as a whole. We'll get with small alliance they will create before ECOWAS, ECOMOC, nothing able to do for we. Nothing. Nothing. ECOWAS or ECOMOC. But it's not a financial partnership. This is not alliance for deter any conflict we come to security. But we need financial groups them. You know, for release the burden what Africa they experience. You know, an African bank. Una stay blessed. Una stay blessed. Una stay blessed.